I was inspired by Ryan Sheely and his stories of travel. So I thought I would share my one story of travel from long ago and far away when I was a college student. We had a cross-cultural study tour that went through Africa, a lot of the countries in Africa. And we were college kids. And I, in particular, was a very naive, very shy, very quiet, introverted college student. I had never grown up as a very outgoing individual, but I learned to be a little more outgoing on this trip. So when we would cross from one country to another, it wasn't exactly back then like the typical customs might be. We would meet up with armed guards, and they would go through our luggage. And some of them were more diligent in going through luggage than others, and I happened to have the diligent ones. So now, as you're thinking of college students and young women and their hygiene needs, when you're traveling as a young woman, you take your feminine hygiene products along with you. And crossing from one country to another turned out to be quite an experience, because I don't know if they thought I was smuggling something like drugs in these things, or if they didn't know what they were because they looked very different from what their wives or girlfriends might be using. But I watched as my customs person dug in my suitcase and started opening one after another and popping them up. I was horrified. This wasn't just a girls' trip. There were young men, young college students that were men on this trip, and they were all watching as this went on. So one of the chaperones finally leaned over to me and whispered, "You should have put a used one on top. It wouldn't have gone any further." Oh, it was awful. So I got through that, and I thought I was home free. I mean, that really was the worst, except that this next one's kind of funny, too. I had an Auto Renewal for a Good Housekeeping magazine. And, for whatever reason, I took Good Housekeeping along to read. Again, you can tell how unexciting I was as a college student. Reading Good Housekeeping as a college student. But anyway, I had Good Housekeeping. And again, we're talking back in the 70s. So, when you look through Good Housekeeping magazine and look at the ads, just cast back in your mind to what kind of ads there might have been. And one that you might think of is the one, "Calgon, Take Me Away." And there was a picture of this woman in a bathtub leaning back with flowers floating along, "Calgon, take me away." And my guy said, "You can't take this. This is obscene." So I said, I didn't know what he was talking about. I said, "Well, show me what's obscene." So he paged through and came to this ad, and he held it up to me and said, "No good, it's obscene." So I guess I had grown a little bit already, and I said, "Well, then just tear it out and give it back to me." So he did. He tore the ad out and gave the magazine back to me. And again, my chaperone leaned over and said, "He wanted that for his wife." Like, oh, had I known, I would have given it to him. But we did have a really fun trip. It was eye-opening, and I did come back a little more grown up than when I left. Thank you.